Hi, this is Johngy for Johnny'sBeat.com. I'm at Days of the Dead with Sal Lizard. How are you, sir?
I'm well, and how are you doing?
Good, thank you. And I know you're an actor, you're
Yes.
an author, you're a producer, you're a comic. How did you get started?
I couldn't make up my mind, so no. I actually, was working in the IT field, and I was doing community theater. And when the IT.com bubble burst happened, and suddenly I found myself without a job and unable to find a job, my friend said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. The only other thing I enjoy doing is acting, so I guess I'll be an actor." And they told me, "You can't just decide to become an actor. You're too old, too fat, and too ugly." Well, 10 years later, because I started in 2002, so 10 years later, I've been in over 36 films, and now I've written my first book, and I produced my first film, and I got into comedy because, well, I like making people laugh anyway. So, and it seemed like how John Candy and all those other fat guys got into film, so I figured that would be the route to go.
Well, tell us a little bit about your book.
My book being Santa, well, I tell you, you asked about how I got into it. One of the things that happened was when I started acting, people said, "You're really a good actor. Where did you go to school?" And I go, "I never went to school to be an actor." And they go, "Well, how did you get to be so good?" And I go, for the past 10 years at that time, I said, I've been a Santa for children, and that's a tough crowd to fool. So that's how I got my acting chops. And after 20 years of being a Santa and telling people Santa stories, my friend Jonathan Lane said, "Let's write a book." And that's what I did. I spent days each week. He would call me up for about a year and a half, and he would ask me about to tell him a story, and I would, and then he would come back with his questions, and he developed this book as a result of that. And right now it's doing really great. It just came out last week, and everybody's given it, basically almost everybody's given it 5 stars. Great reviews.
Could you give us one quick story in the book?
Well, chapter 8, where I have a few short stories in there. Like, there was a time I went to Walmart, and this little girl came up to me at the checkout counter, and she asked me what my name was. And I looked over at her mom, who was standing there smiling, and I wasn't sure what her mother had said. So I said, "Well, honey, who do you think I am?" And she goes, "I think you're Santa Claus." And I went, "Oh, then you better be really, really good." She goes, "I am. I'm not peeing in my underpants." So, children are wonderful, and and so they sometimes say the darndest things. They really do.
I've heard that.
Yes, Art Linkletter.
Maybe. So that's the kind of stories we find in that book.
Actually, there's most of the stories in this book. It's been said that most of them are funny. A few of them are hilarious, but there's a couple that'll make you cry also.
Okay.
Because just as I tell people, they go, "What's it like to be a real Santa?" And I go, "What do you mean?" And they go, "Well, it must be, wonderful and fun." And I go, sometimes children will come up to you and they'll ask for things that you can't supply. Some of the toughest questions children have asked me is, can you bring back my parent who passed on, or mom and dad are getting a divorce? Can you fix that? Those are tough questions, and you've got to be on your game to deal with that.
Well, you've got the experience to handle it. Now, if anyone wants to find out more information about you on the web, where can they look?
Well, I have a Facebook page, of course, as Sal Lizard. I've also got a couple of like pages, The Genuine Santa and Being Santa Claus, which is about the book. I also, of course, have The Vampire Santa and The Comedy Zombie. So you can always find me there. I have a website at sallizard.com, and from there you can find other links to other things I've done. And of course, don't even try to look me up on Google. You'll find so many entries it isn't funny.
Now, is there any other thing that you're coming out in the near future we're looking forward to?
Well, there's a movie that I did where I play the salty old sea captain, and the movie is called Hooked. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the film because, well, I'm not very Santa-like in the film because I am this crusty old sea captain.
Well, you're acting.
Well, yes, of course, that's the thing. And I actually, since this book came out last week, I've already had 2 people contact me that would like to produce the film. So,
a little scoop. We got a Johnny's Beat Scoop exclusive.
Yeah.
Sal Lizard, very pleasure to meet you.
It was great meeting you.
We'll let you get back to your fans.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And be good, for goodness sake.
Of course.